So then I tell him, like, that's not how it works. You're gonna have to find some more.
Hey, is that Krishna?
Hey, Krishna.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing, man?
Yo, I've been studying for this history exam.
Oh, yeah.
Oshana's class is hard.
I feel it.
I've been reading a lot about the Holocaust, and it's crazy how it happened 80 years ago. The way Mr. Oshana described it, it's like, how could people do these acts to each other, you know? I mean, I'm glad like none of this happens nowadays, though.
Well, I mean, it still happens to this day.
Yeah, it does.
Well, maybe it's on like a smaller scale, but it ain't as big as the Holocaust, you know?
That's kind of insensitive, man. Like, you got some really big things that happen. Like, you got Cambodia,
Rwanda.
Darfur.
Hold up! I'm Cambodian. So, you're telling me my country had a genocide, and I never learned about any of this?
Well, I mean, if you're Cambodian, you should probably know about this.
See, Mr. Oshanaha didn't finish his lecture, but
Oh, yeah?
you think you guys could teach me?
Of course. Yeah.
Alright, let's go!
Alright.
Today we're gonna start with Cambodia.
Gotcha. Alright, so where's Bo at?
He went to go prepare the lecture.
There's more?
Yeah, we're gonna be learning about Rwanda and Darfur.
Okay. So I mean, I assume we're learning about Cambodia right now, right?
Yes, we are.
So who's that?
That's Pol Pot, leader of Khmer Rouge, and under his regime, he killed over 2 million people.
2 million people. So who was a part of the party? Were they like soldiers from like a different country or what?
It was mostly everyday citizens.
So there were no soldiers?
There were some soldiers, but a lot of them were just regular people who weren't meant to kill.
So why did they follow him then?
Well, between the 1970 through 1973, during the Vietnam War, the U.S. bombed much of the countryside of Cambodia and manipulated Cambodian politics to support the rise of pro-Western leaders.
So what does the U.S. have to do with any of this?
The Khmer Rouge used the U.S. actions to recruit followers and as an excuse for the brutal policies they exercised when in power.
So what were the methods used to like conduct all these killings?
Some of the causes of death were execution, starvation, and overwork from hard labor camps.
And who were the victims?
They persecuted the educated, such as doctors, lawyers, and current and former military and police.
So those are some very brutal methods that were used throughout the regime. Is there any reason why they kept on following the higher-ups?
Well, they would have been killed if they didn't obey, and obedience is the most powerful social influence.
Man, it's crazy. Like, I can only imagine how Rwanda went.
Hey, hello. You ready to learn about Rwanda now?
Man, thanks for the lesson, by the way, Stephanie.
Alright, let's go. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the Rwandan genocide. First things first, we need to talk about Belgium.
Why?
Well, when Belgium was taking over them during colonialism, they separated the two groups of the Rwandans. The Hutus, who looked more African, and the Tutsis, who looked more European. The Tutsis were put in power.
Oh.
So when Belgium relinquished their colony, the Hutus, who were the majority, were put back into power over their Tutsi leaders.
Wow. I can see why they were so upset with their social standing.
Oh yeah. After a while of this rule, tensions started to rise. In 1994, the president of Rwanda had his plane shot down, and he died in the plane crash.
And why is that a big deal?
Because genocidal actions started happening the very next day. Remember Professor Salazar's lecture on de-individuation?
Yeah, I remember that. That was about how social influences affects a person's decision making because they want to be liked or accepted by a group, right?
Yeah.
I think I get it. So the Hutus are losing their decision making due to de-individuation?
Correct.
Okay.
And unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of Tutsis lost their lives from machetes to grenades to rifles, anything that could kill.
Wow. So just like Cambodia, these are just regular citizens just fighting one another.
Correct.
Wow, so under Cambodia, the Khmer Rouge gathered a bunch of ordinary citizens in order to become soldiers. But with the Rwandans, they're regular citizens. So who was it that were guiding these people to commit all these atrocious acts?
Well, Radio Rwanda had been broadcasting hateful messages about the Tutsi people, and after the president's plane was shot down, broadcasts went out to cut down the tall trees, meaning start the killing.
Dang, that was more recent than I thought. But that was in the 1900s. There hasn't been any recent ones.
Well, unfortunately, that's not true. There's another genocide that happened in the 21st century. Me and Stephanie can teach about it.
So where did this happen?
Western Sudan.
Oh, hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
What's up, Stephanie?
So Krishna wants to know about a more recent genocide.
Alright.
Yeah, so how recent was this Western Sudan genocide?
It was in 2003.
Wow. So I was actually alive when that happened.
Yeah. The area in Western Sudan called Darfur was underdeveloped and marginalized.
In 2003, war broke out, and President Omar al-Bashir decided to bomb the villages in the area of Western Sudan.
His own villages?
Yeah, and mostly civilians.
In 2004, a UN official claimed al-Bashir had deliberately tried to bring the destruction of the Fur, Sakhawa, and Masali ethnic groups.
In 2010, an arrest warrant was put out for al-Bashir on accounts of genocide, and he was finally ousted in 2019.
2019?
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Between 100,000 and 400,000 people died in the genocide.
Wow. I still can't believe that's pretty recent.
And today, the Turkish invasion of Syria might also lead to another genocide.
Yeah, I read about that too.
So let me get a context of the situation.
Oh, yeah.
There's always like two sides of a story, right?
Context is always important.
Okay.
Since the end of World War I, the Kurdish have been oppressed in Turkey.
So since World War I, the tension really has been building up till now.
Oh yeah. After fighting this oppression, the Kurds were brutally put down with bombings, mass executions, and even kidnappings. And afterwards, Kurdish identity was denied in Turkey.
I remember the Kurds were arrested for speaking their own language, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. This oppression led to the rise of the Kurdish Workers' Party, otherwise known as the PKK, and they've been fighting Turkey ever since.
In the 21st century, Kurdish oppression has been reduced.
They're allowed to speak their own language now and have their own TV network.
Wow, so it's good that the Kurdish are getting rights, but with Turkey invading Syria, something had to have changed, right?
To maintain their power, the Turkish government has recently been repressing journalists and academics to support Kurdish rights.
And Turkey invaded Syria because they believe that the Kurds there have relations to the PKK.
So if they're not careful over there, the hatred that's building up could turn into a mass killing.
Correct. The Turkish invasion of Syria hasn't led to a genocide.
But there could be one.
Yeah.
So I guess it's important for everyone to know the history of the situation in order to prevent the escalation of violence in the future.
So what have you learned today?
So, what have I learned? I learned that social influence has an effect on everyday life. However, social influence can affect others more greatly than usual. Because of that, it could lead them to perform very, very atrocious acts. So what do we look at first? The behavior or what they say? First things first, we look at the history. So Stephanie and Bo taught me about the Rwandan genocide, the Cambodian genocide, and the Darfur genocide. These genocides have three things in common: obedience, group conformity, and dehumanization. So let's take a look at group conformity. How can we prevent that? Humans have a natural need to belong and to be liked by others. So what we can do is take a look at yourself first and see the actions that you're doing. Is that really you? Number two, obedience. People, when they see an authority figure, they have a tendency to be obedient. Now, if that authority figure is telling you to do something wrong that you think is not right, stand up for yourself. Number three, dehumanization. It's easier to cause harm to others if you see them as lesser than yourself. For example, the Tutsis were called cockroaches, the Kurdish were seen as non-existent. It's important to practice empathy in order to put yourselves in another person's shoes.
this discussion. That will go a long way to stopping acts of genocide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.